Yo, what is going on, guys? It is Taylor the Fiend back again, and on today's episode, I have a funny story for you here today of a man who gets dumped by his girlfriend because he was quote-unquote too predictable, but then of course she comes begging to come back. It is ridiculous. It is a tale as old as time, guys, where a woman will be with a guy and she likes being with him because of the security he provides and because he's a good man, but of course she's not attracted to him because he is too boring. So let's jump into this one. This is a 28-year-old female and a 30-year-old male. He says, she, 28-year-old female, said that I, a 30-year-old male, was too predictable. We were together for just over 3 years. We met through mutual friends, clicked early, etc. No big drama, nothing of the sort. Just day-to-day life with someone that you think you can build with. I, a 30-year-old male, work in IT and she works in marketing. I was the quiet type. She was the more outgoing and social type. I always thought that our differences balanced each other out. I handled the more boring stuff, the rent, the bills, the maintenance, while she brought fun and spontaneity into my life. We weren't perfect, but we were solid, or so I thought. Okay, so this guy has a girlfriend who brings fun and spontaneity into the relationship. Now, guys, maybe I'm crazy, right? Maybe I'm just weird, but I think women who bring excitement, fun, and spontaneity, oftentimes, these are very extroverted women, and extroversion usually leads them to talking to other guys, right? Why do I need an exciting wife, right? A wife who's the life of the party. It makes no sense to me, never really made sense to me. But this guy says, hey, listen, she brings the fun and the spontaneity to my life, whatever the hell that means. A few months before the breakup, I noticed something. She started staying out later, often with co-workers. Nothing suspicious by itself, but everything felt different. She stopped doing the little affectionate things that she used to do. So no good morning kisses, no how was your day. And then came the snarky comments. I'd talk about a new TV show and she'd say, you really don't like trying new things, huh? Or if I made dinner, she would say, you always make the same safe choices. One night I asked her directly if she was happy. She said that she didn't know, and a week later she sat me down and hit me with the, I feel like I'm settling. I need to figure out who I really am before it's too late. And the translation, of course, is I think that I can do better. It's actually crazy how blunt some of these women are, man. Like, usually women are very indirect about this sort of stuff. They usually don't use the word settling when they're talking to the man. Usually they just use the rest of it like this, right? Like, oh, I need to figure out who I am. I need to do my healing journey. I need to do, all of that nonsense that makes no sense. That's translation for I want to go sleep with other dudes. Usually they don't straight up just say, I feel like I'm settling. So this dude, this woman probably thinks that this guy is such a damn pushover that it doesn't really matter what she says to him. And you know what? She's probably right. A lot of these women, they say really brutal crap because they know that the dude will stick around no matter what. That's the crazy part, guys, is many of these women think that, well, my boyfriend over here, he would do absolutely anything for me. And so by extension, he would typically put up with anything as well. So if I sit here and say, oh, I want to go on a break, or I feel like I'm settling, it doesn't really matter what I say because in the end, he's always going to forgive me. He's always going to take me back. He doesn't have options with other women. And so they think that they can return to these dudes' lives at any given point in time. You guys have probably had this happen to you, whether you've been dating for a while or not, or maybe years ago or whatever. But this is a common thing, guys, where women will walk all over you. And then later on, they always seem to think that they can come back into your life, right? Even if you're a completely different person, you realize that you shouldn't have put up with any of the nonsense. She might see that you're doing better in life. She might see that you're more successful or that you no longer care about her. And then she comes crawling back and hits you with the hey stranger nonsense. So anyway, she packed her stuff and left. She moved out 2 days later and went to stay with a co-worker temporarily, said it wasn't goodbye forever, just space to think. Yeah, so she's still trying to keep her options open with this guy, okay? She's left. She went to stay with a co-worker. It's probably a dude. says that it wasn't forever and just needs space to think. So she's staying at some dude's house, having fun with him, and just saying she needs space for the time being. Again, just literally just throw the woman out. Spoiler, she didn't spend that time thinking. She spent it exploring, aka dating around and posting thirst traps on Instagram like she was a teenager again. Very weird that that's even a thing. I didn't stalk her, but mutual friends sent me things. I don't believe this guy, to be honest. I think he probably stalked her. She was out drinking every other night, tagging guys I'd never heard of, and doing everything but reflecting on our relationship. So this woman was a for the streets type woman. You know, immediately what does she do? She resumes posting the thirst traps on Instagram. She tags a whole bunch of guys. She's out every night partying or whatever. Clearly just no respect for this guy whatsoever. Not interested in him. Was probably cheating the entire damn time. And this is why, guys, you cannot have a relationship with a woman that's ever going to work out in any degree positively if she doesn't think that you're her best option, right? If she has been with a whole bunch of different dudes, if she has these sorts of behaviors, usually it's going to end up to be a very bad thing for you. So let's continue here. He says, it stung, I felt humiliated, but more than that, I felt like a fool for ever thinking I was enough for her. I chose growth instead of games. After the initial gut punch wore off, I could either wallow or I could rebuild. So I focused on myself. I got more consistent with the gym, took a weekend trip to visit friends, cleaned out his apartment, tossed out all the stuff that reminded me of her, even started working on a side project that I'd been putting off forever. And somewhere along the way, I stopped waiting for her to come back. I realized I deserved someone who saw me as a choice, not as a placeholder. I think placeholder is the correct term that a lot of women essentially view men as, right? It's like, oh, I'm going to get into a relationship with this guy, stay with him for a while because he's safe, and just see what else is out there. And if I need to leave for any point in time, I can leave and then come back, and it doesn't really matter because he's going to accept me. He says about 4 months after she left, I got a random hey text. There it is. Just like that, she hadn't ghosted me. Just like she hadn't ghosted me and gone off on her little freedom tour. I didn't reply. 2 days later, she sent another. I've been thinking about you a lot. I really messed up. He still didn't reply. Then came the phone call. I answered, not because I wanted to get back together, but because I wanted to hear what kind of script she'd prepared. It was everything you'd expect. Okay, I didn't know what I had until I lost it. Everyone I've dated since was shallow. Yeah, so she hooked up with a bunch of dudes and none of them wanted anything from her aside from her body. Classic. You were the only one who really got me. I miss how safe and grounded you make me feel. She even started crying on the phone, said she wanted to meet up and talk, said maybe this time apart was exactly what they needed to appreciate each other more. Completely insane stuff. He calmly told her that he wasn't interested in being someone's backup plan, that he's not here to be dismissed, not here to be missed only when the other options disappoint her. She said I was being cold, that I was punishing her for trying to find herself. Notice how they still keep up this language, by the way, right? Even after all of it. He says, no, I was just protecting what little self-respect that I had left. So it seems like this guy actually made a pretty good turnaround, right? Because in this, I would assume that at the beginning he was probably a simp who did whatever she wanted, you know, all of these sorts of things. But over time, he got some self-respect. He realized he didn't have to put up with the nonsense and he refused to have her back, which is obviously fantastic. But guys, we're going to be leaving today's story there. A bit of a shorter one today as I have to head out. So don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments. Make sure you guys take care of yourselves and I'll be seeing you all in the next one. Peace.